Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you guys and highlight Boeing, not the company itself. I don't really know their financial health or all the fundamentals. If some of you guys know more about that, feel free to drop some comments down below. Leave me some links so I can see more of, as a company, how they're performing. Not that I do my trades based off that, but that does kind of help me stay in the trade a little longer if I know there's good news coming or some better things up ahead for the company. However, in this video, I'm going to show you guys how Fibonacci plays a part in my next trade idea. And this is a trade that I just began to initiate last week, along with a few other trades. And these are trades that last a little longer than my typical style of swing trading. Some trades I go in strictly with flow, just kind of a one-hitter quitter. And then some trades, they have big potential for a big move, so I like to go in with bigger size, and I also like to buy longer expiration, so that way I'm able to capture the move, because you never know when they're going to make the move happen. So anyways, so here's Boeing, and as you can see on my chart, we have a blue zone and we have a purple zone. This has already been done by laying out Fibonacci, a little more advanced than what people are normally used to. If you'd like to get yourself a copy of how to do this, just follow some of my older videos or just follow this channel. I'll be showing you guys more. You can also order the book. There's a link down in the description. But as you can see right here in this video, it doesn't take too much to understand that when Boeing comes down into these levels right here, the whales buy it. They buy it, they load up, and all they do is they just send the price up to the supply zone. And what I like about this chart is that it's been made so clear of how they just buy the dip here and then they sell it up here. So I bring this chart to you guys because it's got really good potential. So this is the monthly chart right here, and these are 4 levels we want to start buying at. So I bought my first contracts right here at 145.87. I don't know, and I don't think any of us really know if they're going to bring it back down, say for example, to 129.57, or if they're going to bring it down all the way down to 118.28, right? We don't really know that. So therefore, I don't like to, say I'm only going to buy if it goes down to 118.28, or I'm only going to buy if it goes down to 129.57, because if I do that,
learn how to find institutional buying zones where the big whales are loading up. Obtain a new skill to help you find plays like this, or even plays like this. Order today on Amazon.
and this is where they were loading up, let's say at 145.87, then I just missed my entire trade. And then it's going to start bouncing right into the 180s, 200s, and by then I'm just chasing. And I know better than to do that, so therefore I just will literally miss the entire trade. It'll be a missed opportunity. And that's kind of frustrating. So therefore what I'll do instead is I'll average in. So I'll deploy, for example, 1/3 of my position right now, 145.87. I know they have earnings coming up pretty soon. I want to say next week or the week after that. So if for some reason earnings have a negative reaction, which to me it doesn't matter, would actually be better for me, because that would allow the price to drop down into 129.57 and hopefully even 118.28. Then that would allow me to add more to my order in those 2 respective levels and get a much better average. Because as history has shown, right, going back to 2020, they buy the dip right there, right? This is like where they love buying it. I think this is like the biggest discount zone right here at 118.28. If you go up to 2022, the same exact place where they bought the dip, right? So they just keep repeating the same thing over and over. And this is a chart I've been watching for the longest time now, and I'm just waiting for it to go into the levels. And this is where you have to practice your patience. I have to practice my patience, because you just have to let it do its thing, right? I can't force it to go down there. I can't rush my order right now, because if I fully deploy all my funds 145.87, now I have no more money to deploy and get a much better average, which would ultimately have me do a better trade. So there we are. Let's go to the weekly chart. And you can see the weekly chart, same thing. You can visualize it a little better. These are the areas right here the whales load up at. And in my book, that's what I talk about. It's finding zones right here where the whales load up, and then also finding where they sell it at. through Fibonacci, you can literally find all this stuff out. There's really no need for Flow. Flow's cool, don't get me wrong. I use Flow as well. I use it for other stuff, but with Fibonacci, you can actually find all this stuff on your own once you learn how to master the Fibonacci tool. So you can see there's already been some buying here. I checked Flow. There's been some inflows. Nothing too obvious, but there has been some inflows right here. You can also see by these volume bars. And if you guys want these volume bars right here, this is a script that I created for Thinkorswim. So if you want it, just go ahead and drop a comment down below. Follow me on Twitter, actually. And on Twitter, we can link up, and I'll send you that link. It's free. I'll give it to you guys. But you can see they're doing some buying right here already. So that's that. Also, if we look at Gamma, you can see right here that while there isn't too much positive Gamma coming in, right? The negative Gamma is kind of slowing down. If we use this as a reference right here, back in September, there was a lot of negative Gamma just coming down, which pushed the price down even further. But if you see that negative Gamma has been lining up and it's staying up here, finishing off with some positive Gamma over these last 2 days. So if we can remain slightly positive or just have a lot less negative Gamma, then the price can begin to appreciate a little more, right? Kind of like right here, if you go back to June of 2024, we had some positive Gamma, right? And that brought the price up. But then it was quickly met after that. It was quickly met by negative Gamma. So we'll see. We'll see. But I really like where the chart's at right now. Another reason I bring this up to you guys is because, so here's a contract, right? So this would be considered a leap. This is what I'm buying, the 20 June 2025 250 contracts. And 250 because that could be the potential full move, right? 250 is where we would go, and it would immediately start selling off. If nothing changes in the company, if it just keeps doing the same thing, they're gonna buy it here, they're gonna ramp it up here, they're gonna sell it off here, and we're just gonna keep this pattern going. So assuming that happens, then that's why I started buying the 250s. So if we go to the calculator, let's say the move started appreciating by end of January. So that gives us the rest of October, November, December, and all of January. So let's even go as far as the beginning of February. Let's say the move made the full thing, right? All the way to 250 by February. You're talking about a 1,300% return. That's huge, right? So the contracts right now go for, I think, like 160, 180. So every one contract could potentially net you $2,150, right? So that's one contract at 160. That's a huge return on investment right there for just one contract. And that's one thing I've learned is when you buy these contracts with time, you get much better appreciation than buying like the weeklies or like the 30 days out. So something else to keep in mind. But let's just say that the move didn't go all the way up to 250. Let's just say that we created our old order here, and they decide to go to the midpoint, which would be around 200. That's why I kept that one Fibonacci 50% line right there, because that defines the midpoint of these two extremities. So if we just did that, right, 200 by the beginning of February, let's go down here. That's still a 191% return. We're still in the positive. So although that's not the move we would want, right, that banger all the way up here to freaking 250, it's still a positive trade, which I think is really good in my eyes, you know. Obviously, I'm not shooting for that. I'm shooting somewhere up here. I want the full move to happen, even by March maybe. But you can see as long as we clear this area right here, the 213, up into April, May, I mean, that still keeps our premium positive. So we don't know, right? I don't know what Boeing has up their sleeves, but hey, let's go for it. And the last thing I'm going to leave you guys off with right here is if we go back to the chart, right, let's switch over to the weekly. We want to buy right here because this is where these guys start filling up their orders quietly. And they're not going to start usually coming out with that big flow order and making all that noise, because that's just not how they do it, right? They sneak in here quietly. If they have a $50 million order, for example, they're not going to typically put that all out on flow, right? If you have like Unusual Whales and all those services, they're going to slide in orders, you know, $1 million here, $2 million here, and so forth, right? And that's what happens when they're going to make the noise, is when the price is kind of in here, just like this. This is where they make the noise, right? Boom, 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 boom. This is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks straight up, right? And that's what's to create. That's what creates the attention. That's what bangs the drum, and that's when everybody starts getting into the trade. And then what they do is they just ramp it up into a supply zone to get everybody stuck in the trade, and they can create exit liquidity. And just like here, they'll sell it off. Just like here, then they'll sell it off, right? So it's the same thing. Another example of this that I want to show you guys is like JD. This is exactly what they just did, right? So JD, this is where they filled up quietly, all your big brokerages, your banks, your hedge funds, right? And you don't really hear too much of JD being talked about. There's no noise, it's quiet, it's boring, nobody cares. And then what happens is they'll ramp it up. And that's when everybody catches it on apps like Unusual Whales. Everybody's like, oh my God, look at this. They're ripping it. Then you have guys go on news on Fox and all those channels. I forgot the big investor, and he's like, this is the time to buy China, buy China. You know, I'm buying everything. And it's all planned. You know, it's all planned because you have the price action, you create that FOMO, then you have guys, professional traders, professional investors going on TV, and they tell you they're buying it. But what they don't tell you is that they've already bought before. They've loaded up in here. They've made the position here. What they're doing now is they're looking for that exit liquidity, and you're going to be the one they're going to pass it on to, right? And then it goes up here, and it starts selling off exactly where it always sells off. So you see this big candle right here. That's them selling it off. And they might even push it up here. This is JD. I know we're talking about a different stock now. But they'll push it up here, and then they'll have another exit liquidity round right there. And that's kind of how this game goes. So if we go back to Boeing, let's be part of that game, right? Let's go ahead and buy the dip. First order here, next order here, last and final order here. Then we let the market do its thing. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. If you guys have some comments, put them down below. If you guys want to learn some more, put them down below. If you have questions about the book, DM me, shoot me some questions, follow me on Twitter. And if you want me to chart something up for you, follow me on Twitter and let me know, hey, when you get a chance, shoot me this chart. And I will do my best to get back to you. Hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys at the next video.